Fernie's been singing Estos Celos by Vicente Fernandez. I found a video from like 2010.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, if you politely said, hey, I want to sing that song, how does that work? Can you guys switch? Is that a thing that you ever do?
I think so. I think especially like somebody like Fernie, Fernie would not mind at all. Because he's been doing this for years. He's been in the group over 20 years. So I feel like he doesn't mind passing on those songs to, you know, especially like new members that want to come in and they already have that song on their belt. It's really easy, as long as we ask them like if it's okay too, because it is their song.
Okay. Yeah, I was speaking about that with Jose earlier, how he makes the determination as to who sings what, and he seemed to communicate that it has to do with like your vocal quality, like there are baritones and tenors and whatnot. How would you categorize yourself as a singer?
You know what? I've always questioned myself about that too, because I'm not a natural tenor. I'm not a natural tenor at all. I don't even know, honestly. I would say around there.
Because when you sing Usted and Motivos, those are the songs that I think about, because I play guitar a little bit and I sing as well. You definitely have a lower vocal register than I do. You sing Usted in Sol.
In Sol.
And you sing Motivos in Do.
Uh-huh.
Can you like ask for a new tema? Like, how did that go about? With Usted and Motivos in particular, would you like, oh, I want to sing these songs? Or did Jose say, I want you to sing these songs?
Jose usually picks the songs for us because he's really good with figuring out like which songs would fit our voice best. But as far as us asking him, we can for sure like ask him, hey, Chief, can I try singing this song eventually, and can we rehearse it if possible? Because it always depends on the arrangements too, and if everybody else is going to be on board with practicing it too. But it's mainly Jose's word, and we'll just follow that word. But I remember when we first were talking about the new album, the Romances Eternos album, I had originally wanted to sing Vereda Tropical, which is on that album. And he was like, you know what? No, I'm going to have Pepe sing this, and you're going to sing this one. He found Yo Quería by Cristian Castro. So that worked out for the better, and that song, like, I mean, it got a good reaction out of the people when it came out as a single.
I thought Alex sang that song for some reason.
Which one? Yo Quería?
Vereda Tropical. I know you sang Yo Quería because I heard it to death. Love that song.
Yeah, no, that was Pepe singing Vereda. I had originally wanted to sing that one, and I mentioned it to Jose, and he wrote the arrangement, beautiful arrangement. But then he was like, you know what? No, he was like, trust me, I have a better one that'll fit your voice perfect. And it was Yo Quería.
You sang Yo Quería, Soy lo Prohibido. Did you sing a third song on that album?
I sang No. I have three solos.
Oh, you're right. You sing No.
I have three solos.
You've been singing
that
live
song
for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of my éxitos. Yeah.
Which one of those three do you like the most?
I like No. I like singing, as far as like singing and interpreting, No. Because there's a similar situation that I've witnessed, and I can put myself in that person's shoes and really try to tell the story of that song.
Oh, it's personal then.
Yeah, it's a personal.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay. I thought it had something to do with the instrumentation, but no.
Oh, the arrangement too. The arrangement is astounding as well. It's like comparing it to the Alejandro Fernandez arrangement, it's super impactful. This one, I feel like it's more dramatic. That's what it really fits the words and the story, in my opinion. Mm-hmm.
And when you're in the studio recording everything, how many times will you do a line where like, porque tus errores me tienen cansado? Yeah. Do you go through the whole song again and again and again, or do you go piece by piece?
I think from what I remember, like for example, recording No, I think I did one whole entire take from beginning to end of the song. And then we would go back to the beginning and start taking it piece by piece and trying to see which words I need to fix or which notes, or if there's anything different that Jose wanted me to try, we would try that out. But we would take it from verse or word from word and just try to make it sound as Mexicano as possible too. Because for me, I'm not a super fluent Spanish speaker, but singing it I can get by. So in the studio, he was really like watching my vowels and the way I was pronouncing words.
You mentioned that on the podcast with Celeste and Lisa that he's very particular about the pronunciation of the words so that your Spanish sounds as crisp as it can be.
Yes, definitely. He's super picky about that, which is great. And I think that's what makes Sol de Mexico super special too, because he makes every singer in this group sound like an artist.
Well, you are, and you're musicians. You are artists.
Yes.
Which of those 3 songs was the most difficult to record, singing-wise?
Singing-wise, probably Yo Quería. There's a few spots where I have to sing in the lower register, but it wasn't anything where I was like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, but it was just like a little challenging. But I always accept the challenge. I always try to shoot for it and execute it by the time we finish it.
And do you remember the notes that Jose was giving you about hitting those low notes the way that he felt was appropriate?
He didn't really guide me into hitting those low notes. It was just more, the main thing was just like dictation and enunciation with the words. That was the biggest play. That was probably the thing that he was most strict about in the studio.
Okay. And when you are recording the vocals, is it ever in your mind like, I don't want this to sound too much like Cristian Castro. I don't want this to sound too much like Luis Miguel, who recorded Solo por Video. I don't want this to sound too much like Alejandro. Are you trying to very intentionally distance yourself from the previous vocal interpretations of the pieces that you're singing?
With Yo Quería, I definitely use Cristian Castro's as a kind of like a roadmap, because I mean that is the original. He's the original artist for that song. But I also didn't want to do it exactly like him, and I wanted to make it my own, just like the way I try to make every other song that I sing like my own. And I experiment by doing different things, different runs, different spots to vibrato on. Just I don't know. I like recording myself too, and when I'm at home and practicing, and really like try to discover something new with that song. Either if it's holding out a certain note or if it's vibratoing on a certain part. I don't know, it's just all about the experiment for me. It's all about experimenting.
Right. When you say in the chorus, cada vez que tú te ibas, you say tute. I noticed that tute was like very close together. Was that by design, your design, Jose's design, to put those 2 syllables right next to each other?
I think that was mine. It's just not, because when I first started singing it, I just was trying to imitate Cristian Castro at first as much as possible. Yo quería parar el tiempo con tus ojos viéndome, con las ganas de quedarme así abrazándote y parar aquel momento cada vez que tú te ibas. Because his has a poppy swing. So with the wapango, I was really like having a hard time trying to phrase it and trying to stay in the pocket of the armonía. So, cada vez que tú te ibas.
Is that why you push the syllables together?
I pushed it a little bit together. That way it lands with the guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many moments are there when you change the interpretation to match the armonía? Because the mariachi armonía is different than something poppy, right?
I always, with every song that I sing, I always try to, I don't know if this makes any sense, but always land a certain note or a certain word with the bass or the strings, the string instruments, the vihuela or the guitar. Like La Derrota, por darle rienda suelta a mis pum. A mis antojos, por no. Like right there, I would land on antojos. Yeah, that's like a good example of it. But I always try to implement that with every song, either if it's a bolero, a son, or a ranchera.
Mm-hmm. And then when you're recording the trumpets as well, how much attention to detail is paid to like how you are hitting the notes in the studio?
As far as hitting the notes, you have to hit it in tune. Like you don't want to go doing, you have to go da, like straight into that note. I've only recorded trumpet once with Jose in the studio, and that was the scariest time of my life.
Why was it so scary?
I had never recorded trumpet with him before, and also, like as far as intonation wise, like it's my weakness on trumpet, which is weird, because with singing my intonation is there. It's like it's pretty there, like it's pretty centered, and the group Sol de Mexico usually tunes just a tad bit sharper than the actual 440, than the perfect pitch itself.
Why?
I think, you know what? I think it has to do with, I'm not too sure, but I know it gives a different feel. Like, you know how like when you're listening to a radio and you compare the actual recording, like on Apple Music, to the radio version, and the radio version is just a little bit sharper? I don't know if you've noticed that. I think that has something to do with it, but it also gives like a different color or feel, especially when like Jose vibratos. I feel like it gives like a pretty even tonality. I'm not too sure. That's tough.
No worries. Yeah. I wanted to, before we conclude, discuss the Christmas tour and the relationship that you all have with audiences during those shows. This year, I confirmed this with Jose, you're doing 24 dates, the most you've ever done on a Christmas tour. So how are you looking forward to that?
24 dates. Yeah, that's gonna be a long tour, but I'm more than ready for it. I just know that this tour, we should all get a lot of rest. We should be very selective on the cities that we decide to, to go out, because we all like hanging out together. So this is my family. Like this is a brotherhood, and we all like hanging out together. It's like a how do you explain it? It's like a
sports team.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know. It is like a little family though, because we all know each other and how we are. From like, I know how Fernie is from the back of my head. I know how Adrian Vaca is from the back of my head. Like, we all enjoy going out and exploring, especially cities that we haven't been to, trying out different food spots, going to a bar and getting a drink. But I feel like because we have a lot of back-to-back traveling too, we need to really get a lot of rest and make sure that our vocal cords are rested, that we're not too fatigued, that we have enough energy for that next show that is coming.
You're in Corpus Christi, you're in El Paso, you're in Houston, you're in
Austin, San Antonio.
You're in San Francisco at the Davies.
At the Davies, yes.
Is that, I asked Adrian Grijalva this once, and he said that's his favorite venue.
I think it's my favorite venue too.
I was about to ask you what your favorite venue is.
Why it's my favorite venue is because the audience is just electric every single time. This will be my third time going to the Davies, and I'm already looking forward to it because they are just full of energy and they love us. I don't know, I feel like I feed off of that audience, and I want to do better for them and give a good show for them. That way they just go nuts.
How would you describe your relationship to the audience in general? So that's at Davies, that's in Tustin, that's in Texas, wherever the case may be.
As far as like from my perspective or
your perspective?
For me, I feel like I always tend to connect with the audience. I always try to make eye contact with like people in the front or in the back. I always try to make sure that they know that I'm singing to them and that I can see them, and that I just want to let them know what I'm going through at like in that moment during that song. So I feel like that usually really helps with grabbing their attention, and it's something that I love doing too, because it hypes me up for my performance too. It makes me want to do a better job for them.
There was a performance, someone recorded it on YouTube, of you singing La Derrota at the restaurant, and you paused during one of the notes that you hold, and someone se echó un grito and everyone started clapping. But when an audience member does that, cuando se echa un grito like, in the middle of you singing, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it makes me feel great. Because a grito, if somebody's feeling it, they're just going to yell it out. And it makes me feel great because I made them feel like that during the song. I mean, it's the whole group. We all make them feel like that. But when I'm singing like a solo song like that, and I know they just automatically throw that grito, and then everybody else comes in, it's the best feeling, honestly. And I feel like I am doing something right. I don't know what it is, but it feels good knowing that they want everybody else to hear that they're feeling that song.
Is there a difference in your energy levels when you perform at the restaurant when it's quiet versus Davies, for example?
No.
Or do you try to be consistent?
Always. The way I perform here is the way I'm going to perform everywhere else. This is our home base, and I think of this as almost like a rehearsal for us, since we're always here together and we're always trying out new things here, especially like on stage. We're always experimenting with different audiences, maybe a quiet audience, maybe a really loud audience, because there's instances and times where we can have a really dead crowd. They just have no energy. They enjoy it, but they don't want to throw, like, they're that crowd that doesn't want to throw gritos. They're just watching. Little claps here and there, but we're doing, it's not like we're not doing a good job. Like we're pretty consistent. But I feel like here's the perfect place to really experiment with audiences like that, with both calm and both really electric and full of energy types of audiences.
The last question before we conclude, Carlos, regarding the Christmas tour. ¿Qué quieres que la audiencia se lleve de esas presentaciones navideñas?
Que este mariachi pueden tocar canciones americanos, navideñas, y también canciones cajonazos tradicionales. Por ejemplo, las rancheras, los boleros, los sones. Y durante de la gira navideña podemos tocar el Nutcracker, el niño del tambor, Ave María, canciones así como ópera. Por ejemplo, Guadalupe González, el vocerrón, él tiene un voz tenor. Él es tenor natural. Y él puede enseñar a cantar mariachi, pero estilo ópera. Casi ópera, sí. Más o menos.
No, sí, y sí le sale a Guadalupe, porque tiene una tesitura.
No, sí. Lupe es increíble. Sí.
Bueno, okay. Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you.
the time.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.